Hello, welcome to Friends International. Let's talk about returning home. I'm here with Neil, who will introduce himself a little bit more in a moment, but we've got this series of videos talking about what it's like to return home, and hopefully as you listen to these different videos, you'll find some things that you can take away that will be helpful for your own transition back home. But in your preparation, if you're still in the UK, this will help you out. So I'm just going to introduce Neil. Thank you for talking with me today, Neil. We met probably 6 or 7 months ago, I think, in your time at Surrey. So I'm going to tell us a little bit about yourself. What are you studying? When did you arrive in the UK? And how long were you here?
Of course. So first of all, I want to thank for this wonderful opportunity, and I hope that, of course, this will going to help many of the students, not only in Surrey, but of course the students worldwide in general. So basically, I'm postgraduate student of Robotics and Machine Learning at University of Surrey. I enrolled in the course in 2018 September, and now it's 2020, so my course is about to finish. Yep.
Cool. So your course is about to finish, and you're back in India already. So you haven't finished your course, but you're already back.
Yeah, that's right. Due to COVID-19, and of course we all know about that, you know, the pandemic scenario, I had to left the country. I was living over there on my own. So, and my parents were also, worrying about me. So I just, thought that it's better to, go back to my country. It's actually the apt time, to live with the family, to live together. So I returned in March, and it's been 2 months, I can say 2 months since I have arrived here. And yeah, I'm just kind of I'd say still accommodating with the weather, and although it's my own country, it's my birthplace, but still, because for 2 years I've been living in the UK, and accommodated with the UK weather. So now it's kind of a time to again settle with the previous.
That sounds good. It must be really hot at the moment. What sort of temperatures are you talking about?
Well, it's about 42 degrees Celsius in day, so it's very hot, very hot.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to go outside. I especially don't like to go outside, even if it's required. So we all are stay indoors.
So that in the UK, when it gets hot, you see everyone go outside, but in most hot countries, when it's very hot, you stay inside. It's we British people don't really know how to deal with hot weather that well.
Yeah, of course. For English people, definitely, this particular season is a great time to enjoy with the family outdoors, and playing some games and things like that. But because India is very near to equator, and that's why the weather is very hot. And near us, even the nearby countries like Sri Lanka, Myanmar, and Bangladesh, Nepal, all these countries are equally hot. So this region is in general becomes hot day by day during the season. Yes, of course.
Yeah, definitely. So when you returned in March, how soon, or from making the decision that you're going back home to actually leaving, how much time was there in between?
Well, to be honest, it was very funny. Funny in the sense, very, very, like I would say, not so normal. And I took decision to return in a day, just
Wow.
within 6 hours, I would say. So I got to know that my country is, kind of closing their borders due to COVID-19. So
Mm.
I decided to, return as early as possible, as soon as possible, in fact. And on the same day in the evening, I booked my tickets for the next day, and I returned. So
Wow.
it was very quick.
That is
I,
very quick.
I unfortunately, yeah, unfortunately, I didn't have uh, much time left for planning and for planning my journey. Yeah.
Mm. So that's extremely fast, and your situation is slightly different in that you are planning to return back to the UK fairly soon. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So currently, due to whole this pandemic affecting my studies and things, I did, take decision to hold my studies for a few time until everything gets better. And I will be returning very soon, probably next year, in spring.
Okay.
But let's see. It depends absolutely on this pandemic.
It's very hard to plan ahead
Very,
in this
very
point.
hard, very hard. Specifically, it has affected, like all people in terms of
Hmm.
planning, in terms of living lives, and so on.
Yeah, definitely. So you've got an unknown amount of time till you come back to the UK, and you've been 2 months in India with very little planning to beforehand. So in the last 2 months, it's been quite a unique situation with the pandemic. So it's not how you left it. So what what happened when you returned? Did you find it that you have any culture shock? Did you have any um yeah, how did it go? What was it like?
Um, well, because I was born here, and some part of my life I have spent here, so it wasn't like truly culture shock, but
Mhm.
I did get effect from heat
Mm.
and the whole COVID-19 pandemic scenario, because on my arrival the medical team appointed by the government, they did approach me, and they kind of checked me that whether I do have any symptoms or not. Fortunately, I didn't have, and they advised me to stay indoors, and they kind of quarantine me for 14 days. So on arrival, I first 7 days I spent in institutional quarantine, and then I moved to my place, my house, and at my house I spent 14 days in my room. So total 21 days of quarantine
Wow.
was a kind of a bit more for
Yeah,
people like me
yeah. So that
who
was
have
that
never
quite.
experienced.
What got you through that? Did you have lots of books? Did you have your phone? What kind of things over those 14 days did you find that quite hard, or was it quite relaxing?
It was mixed, I would say, because lots of services were not available at that time. For example, I was quarantined in the institution. In fact, in a hotel. Basically, it was it
Oh,
was
right.
primarily a hotel facility. Although they had their their own food, and they were making for the people, but because I habituated with some sort of particular type of food, so I struggled initially. Apart from that, I had my, for my personal leisure, I was using my laptop, my mobile phone, and I had a couple of books, to read. So I was reading them. I was trying to keep my routine, so at least I could able to, excuse me, maintain my well-being at most. Yeah. Um, mm, yeah, that's it. Actually,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, for first 7 days, I didn't have much like kind of resources or what I would say, uh, because the place was remote, so remotely located, so the internet was very poor
Mm.
at that time, in that place. So I was mainly, spending my time in reading books and things like that. Yeah.
That's really helpful. I think one of the hardest parts of lockdown has been the loss of routine and the loss of things to look forward to. Those are the two things that I've found in myself have
Of
been very hard
course,
to
but
get
I
used
would,
to.
yeah, but one thing I would like to, say that it has, at least in my case, it has some positive effects too. I started, writing my journal regularly. I used to write, in fact, in nearest past, but I was not like kind of, very regular. So fortunately, I, started writing it regularly, like every day, writing my experience, writing thoughts and ideas,
Mm,
thinking about the pandemic and, getting the news. I was also, I have observed that I become a bit more analytical through this time in these 2 months, because I have been, analyzing lots and lots of, material for sake of good of our
mm,
community, of course, that how we could able to, build our institutions and our infrastructure, further, and, about the policy making and, things like that.
mm,
So it in that way, it has, kind of provided me an opportunity to look for.
mm. That's good. So you have found positives within that, and it must be quite nice being with family as well.
Of course, indeed, because although I did visit them recently, like recently in December 2019, but it was for very short time. Like I stayed for 6 days only,
Right.
and
Oh, that's very short.
yeah, everybody were surprised that, you came from, so long, and, you have stayed for very little. But but yeah, I mean, this time is I'm kind of, cherishing with my family, and it's really good. Yeah.
Good stuff. So there's I realised I'd sent you some questions that weren't quite for you, because you haven't actually been part of the returning home seminar that we've done in the past as Friends International. But I'm interested to find out, with the process of returning, have you found that your emotions have changed? Or so we talk about in Friends International, we talk about a honeymoon period where everything is quite exciting and it's all new and it's nice to be home. Then there's a sort of a dip where you're a little bit unsure, you kind of miss where you've come from, and then you eventually settle. Have you found any change in your emotions through this time, from being really excited to be home to actually missing the UK? Has there been any of that for you?
Indeed, like others, I have been also, kind of feeling, I would say, nostalgia
Mm,
for England, and the life over there. I have been missing, firstly, my university a lot, because till the date, I had been, studying like in person in the campus, and, studying, like, learning in labs and libraries, and, things like that, and it's, like, suddenly changed. So definitely, I went through the roller coaster of, emotions. It was very, very fascinating to notice them. But eventually, now I'm kind of, I can say that I'm feeling a bit settled in
mm.
terms of emotions with the around, with my surrounding.
So, is there anything? I mean, we've talked a little bit about your the process that you fact you had to go into quarantine. That was probably a bit of a surprise. But was there anything else, even just once you're home and there's some sort of normal routine, aside from the weather, was there anything else that really took you by surprise of, oh, I don't remember that, or that's my values have changed, or something, anything like that with your return?
To be honest, not really anything so far, fortunately, I would say, because
You
otherwise I
haven't
would,
picked up a British accent or anything like
uh, no, not yet. I hope very soon, probably, but not
that?
yet. That's,
That's
that's
fine.
fine.
That's great. So,
Uh, yeah.
which is great. That's great. Some people are surprised that they've picked up something British about them that other people have noticed. But if that hasn't happened for you, then that's absolutely fine. So some students are going to have a bit more time to prepare. So looking at you, and you had a very short amount of time to prepare, 6 hours, and suddenly you're off very quickly. What would you suggest people to think about before they return home? What are your top tips? They can be
Um,
just practical, like how to pack
uh,
if you want.
yeah, of course. Why not? First and foremost, do not get panic in any situation. And the second thing is, at least if you get the time, just plan it, you know just like from like if you want to book tickets, or yeah, you want to kind of arrange a transfer from where you are located in England, from the nearest international airport, then just go through in a very systematic way. um, I did fortunately, contact one of the agents, I would say travel agents in London, and I booked tickets with him. So like if you are not finding tickets, let's say on booking websites and things like that, then also do contact people like this, who are travel agents, who do provide ticketing and facilitate with your journey. um, Also, I would say, do carry personal protective equipments. I think it's very most important. Not PPE as in the sense like the whole azimuth suit.
Yeah.
It's practically not possible, but equipments in the sense, if possible, if you can able to get a surgical mask, then wear the surgical mask, and keep a bottle of sanitizer handy. Also keep tissue papers and some medicines, like one can keep antihistamine if required, then they can take that. Also keep some paracetamols with them, so it wouldn't be, if it's a longer journey, then it's better to keep some medicines. Yeah.
That's really helpful. That's really good. I think the mask and some sanitizer is a very good tip. Just not too much sanitizer, otherwise you won't get it through security.
Of course,
Gotta
not
keep it
not too
small.
much. Yeah, that's
It could
really a
go
good.
too far.
Yeah, that's right. Just 50 ml, or maximum 100 ml is more than sufficient, I would say. You do not need to sell
Take a
sanitizer at
bottle.
the airport, of course. Although you wouldn't allow that
No,
to do
that's great.
that, but yeah.
So, are you back at work at the moment, or are you still studying? What are you currently doing with your time now that you're back for the foreseeable future?
So like I said earlier, I have taken a break from my studies. So
Mm.
currently, I'm focusing on some additional skills, additional supportive skills, which could help in my career. Like, for example, learning about crisis management.
Oh, that's right. You did
Uh,
say. Sorry, I missed
uh,
what you said.
yeah, yeah. Sorry. Learning about the crisis management
Mm.
and things like that. Also, I'm learning about SAP. It's a cloud platform,
Mm.
and I have been kind of quite interested in it for some time, and finally I got an opportunity to learn more about that. So
that's great.
yeah.
So making the most of your time. I realised that I missed out one question at the start. When you came into the UK, was there anything specific about British culture that stood out to you as different, or did you have any experience of culture shock coming into the UK that when you arrived?
Yes, certainly. Probably like others, I did have some sort of culture shock too, but it wasn't last for long, I would say. I was surprised really with the timings and the schedules of British people. I mean, it's so kind of like packed, like tacked in a day. It finishes at 5 max 6, and after 6, especially in a town like Guildford, during weekends, after 5, it's like totally deserted. So definitely it was quite new to me, because I live here in Metropolis, and it is like constantly booming 24/7. Although
Right.
London is pretty much like, I mean, I was familiar with the London as I visited London before in my life, but living countryside was kind of a total new experience, which I enjoyed.
Fantastic. That's great. And I think I've covered most of my questions for you, Neil. So I just want to say thank you for sharing your experience and your time with us. It's a privilege to be able to catch up with you, and I look
You're
forward
most
to
welcome.
talking to you over the next few months, and once this pandemic is subsided, hearing about when you'll come back. And yeah, it'd be good to see you again.
Sure, certainly. See you.
Great. Yeah, see you later.